Hello, my name is Shuki. I'm the executive chef of Thalassa Hotel. We are here in a side restaurant. It's our Mediterranean fish restaurant, and this is our beautiful view that you can see from here. Today we're gonna cook a pan-fried scallop with some polenta and gorgonzola cheese. Okay, we're gonna start with our aubergine. We're gonna use nice and firm aubergine for that. We're gonna burn it. We want to achieve a smoky flavor in our aubergine puree. So we're gonna basically burn it for like 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes altogether. So like 5 minutes on every side, or until soft. We have to cook it until it gets soft. A good solution for the house is to put a foil, aluminium foil underneath the aubergine, because they're going to get messy and you're going to mess the whole kitchen. But I have some rack over here. After about 10 minutes of burning the aubergine in all the sides, it's kind of a soft to touch and quite burn. We're going to remove it. We're going to let it cool down. We're going to peel the skin of the aubergine. It's going to get peeled very easily. Do not wash it, because we want to keep the smokiness of the aubergine. It's going to contribute to the flavor. And we're going to put it aside. We're going to put it in a container. We're going to use the flesh with a splash of water. We're going to blitz it with a hand blender, and we're going to achieve a smooth paste or puree of a smoked aubergine. So this is stage one. Okay. In a minute we're going to cook a polenta, but the polenta have to go to some kind of mold, some kind of a terrine mold or any kind of container. We should be able later to take it easily from it. So what we're going to do now, we're going to, with any plastic cling film, we're going to create a double layer, so it's going to make it easier for us to handle it later on. We're going to put it on top of the terrine mold with a piece of paper. We're going to create some kind of a ball, and we're going to push it and tighten it to the bottom. So later on, basically, we're going to pour over here the polenta together with some gorgonzola cheese, and we're going to let it set. And this one's going to make it easier for us to pull it out. So now we're going to cook the polenta. Polenta can be cooked in many ways. Either to achieve a soft polenta, that we can use it as a mashed potato instead of a mashed potato on the dish, or as a set polenta, because the polenta is going to set quite hard. It is all depending on the amount of liquid that we're going to put in. So I'm using milk to cook my polenta. Many other chefs use water. Again, it's all for how much polenta you're basically cooking. We're going to use 1.5 liters of milk and about 350 grams of polenta. It's we need a bit of a good amount of polenta to fill this up, and this is going to be enough for about 4 people. So the polenta, first we wait for the milk to come to a boil or very high temperature, and then we're going to pour in the polenta. We're going to keep whisking it until it's going to get thickened. In about 3 minutes time, the polenta is going to be quite thick, and then we have to continue in cooking it. Now we have to work fast because the polenta is going to set quite quickly. So we're going to have to remove it when we're going to get the right consistency, and going to go to the terrine mold and layer the polenta. Okay, as you can see, the polenta getting quite thick. Now is a good time to season it with some salt and pepper. Do not over season it, because we're going to use the next stage some gorgonzola cheese, and it's quite salty, so we don't want to over season this is more or less the right consistency for a set polenta. It's manageable, but it's gonna set quite quickly, so we have to work quite fast. So we're gonna take our polenta, we're gonna use the terrine mold that we prepared earlier, and we're gonna create a first layer about 2 centimeters high, evenly spread. And again, we have to work quickly because the polenta is starting to set, and then it's going to be a more difficult task to do. Now, after we finish the first layer, we're going to put the layer of cheese. So we're just going to use gorgonzola cheese, cutting to about a centimeter and a half thick, around. So it's important to create one layer, so when you're going to cut it later on, we're going to see the difference in the layers. Now we're going to cover this layer with another layer of polenta. I'm doing over here only 2 layers, but we can even do 3 layers, so you're going to give us a higher terrine, a higher mold polenta, and even richer. Now all we have to do is to cover the polenta with we have to make sure it's quite dense and there is no air pocket in the middle, so when you're going to cut it again, it's going to be nice and smooth. And you have to go to the fridge. As I already prepared in advance, the same polenta that's set for 12 hours in the fridge. We're going to use those sides of the cling film to just pull out the polenta very carefully and flip over the whole thing. What we have is a set polenta. It's look like a cake, and now we're going to expose the polenta. Now, using a very sharp knife, the sharpest one you have, and a wet one as well, we're going to try and slice the polenta. So it should cut right through. It's a bit fragile, so don't be afraid if the first piece is getting broken. So go a bit thicker. It's about 4 or 5 centimeters thick. And then we're going to cut it in half. What you will see over here is the polenta set on top and in between. Over here there is 2 layers of gorgonzola. Season the scallop with salt and pepper, just slightly. Mix it well. With a little bit of olive oil in your non-stick pan. Very hot pan, I have to remind you. You can fry the scallop for about 2 minutes. Yeah. So we're going to remove the scallop to a plate. We're going to drain them. I've just taken the polenta out of the oven. It's been for about 10 minutes in a high oven, high temperature about 180, and then carefully we're going to center it in an angle on our plate. Now we have the scallop. We're going to arrange the scallop on top. We're going to add some of our smoked aubergine relish with some onion that we've done earlier. Then we're going to continue with the scallop. In between, we're going to add some slow roasted cherry tomatoes. And we're going to finish it off with some organic mixed cress. They're adding some color and flavor to any dish. A drizzle of olive oil always helps, especially when we're talking about Italian cuisine. Enjoy.